All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd like to welcome you to the in-person and virtual regular meeting for the Highland Park City Council scheduled for today, Monday, July 25th, 2025. As part of our opening ceremony, I'm going to deviate. I'm sorry, July 21st. I'm going to deviate slightly, and I'm going to do something that everybody in the room of my generation can understand. I'm going to take a moment of silence. We just lost Malcolm Jamal Warner today. He is as much an iconic part of our childhood. 54, same age as me. So I grew up watching Theo. I grew up watching Theo on TV. So I want to honor our generation and just take a moment of silence for Mr. Malcolm Jamal Warner. Rest well, my brother. Would you mind taking the roll for us tonight, Madam Clerk?
Councilman Shafi.
Present.
Councilwoman Martin.
Here.
Councilwoman Manica. Here. Council Pro Tem Robinson. Present. Council President Thomas.
Here, thank you very much. Moving on to item 3, this is the approval of the agenda. City Council has had their packets for several days. Communication has been had with the legal department. City Council, what is your pleasure on today's agenda?
I move to approve our city council agenda for Monday, July 21st, 2025.
Support.
We had a recommendation for a walk-on. That's not.
Item.
Item 8 under police. I'm sorry, 7 under police.
Yes.
And council affairs will move to 8. So Ms. Manica, would you be kind enough to restate your motion, please, for the record?
Yes. I move to approve the agenda with the walk-on. The agenda for Monday, July 21st, 2025, with the walk-on as a number 8, with the police department to approve and disperse the FY 2023 COPS COPS Technology and Equipment Program Invitational Solicitation.
Do we have support?
Support.
So a motion is made to approve the agenda with the addition of a walk-on item under the police department related to the resolution to approve and disperse the fiscal year 2023 COPS Technology and Equipment Programming Invitational Solicitation Grant. This item is on the floor. Do we have questions, concerns, dissent?
I have dissent.
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
To your council president, tell you, we've said this time and time again, and it feels like nobody is listening to us. You know, I jokingly say that I could complain, but nobody's listening, but it's the truth. Because we have said several times on several occasions about walk-on items at the last minute. This is a very thick packet. There's been some changes made to a grant that we already approved that they've had almost over a year. And here we are now at the last minute, at the last hour, something being walked on this thick, no time to investigate, no time to research, no time to really ask any questions, but you want an approval in less than 30 minutes. This is not Pizza Hut.
Yes, sir. Duly noted.
Okay.
And it was stated in the email that came to us all that they have been working on this process for over a year. It's in the email.
I saw the email, Council President.
Yes,
I didn't respond to the email because so many of us were responding, and I didn't want to violate the Open Meetings Act.
Sure.
Okay, so I saw the email. Again, I understand that they've been working on it, but why take so long to get this to us at the last hour with so much information for us to digest and deal with in less than 30 minutes?
So
Again,
to be,
this is
hold on
not
a second. I
Pizza
see
Hut.
you, Ms. Manica. So to your point, thank you for your input.
Mhm.
To your point, amendments to approve grant disbursements happen in municipalities on a regular basis. When we have a walk-on item, as it was illustrated to us in a thorough series of emails, the explanation was, and I'm going to paraphrase, as we originally wrote out what our ability to take advantage of this grant as, left us not using all the available funds that we could tap into. Let's be reminded, this is a grant that helps to provide technology to support mental health related issues for our police department. This is an ever evolving type of issue in most cities, and the fact that there is funding available to train citizens as well as law enforcement professionals to better enrich their knowledge and their capabilities in dealing with these crises. I understand fully why there was a back and forth over several weeks and months for the interested parties at the time, those actually doing the work. And when that work was finished, they came back to us and said, that grant you already approved for us could be modified so that the city could take full advantage of the resources that have potentially been allocated to us. I won't challenge your statement if you believe that we keep getting things at the last minute. I disagree, but thank you for your statement. Ms. Manica, go ahead.
I'm sorry. So sometimes we do get things at the last minute. We do. But in this case, I think if we put it on the agenda, then you can make those points again, whether you approve it or don't approve it, or you want to table it or lay it on the table. Those are other options, but at least we put it on the agenda just so that we can have that discussion, because we're actually not supposed to be having that discussion now about it.
Correct.
So if we could just put it on there so that we can have the discussion.
If it's added to the agenda, I intend to read this resolution to the audience.
That's fair enough, Council President. I just wanted to,
Make note.
I just
Okay.
wanted to express my decision.
So we're gonna take a
Everything
roll.
is said, I wanted to express it.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor made by Councilwoman Manica to approve today's agenda with the addition of one walk-on item. That walk-on item will be to approve, it's a resolution to approve and disperse the fiscal year 2023 COPS Technology and Equipment Program Invitational Solicitation Grant. Support was offered by Councilwoman Martin. Would you please call the roll on the approval of the agenda?
Councilman Shafi,
Yes, to approve the agenda.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson, Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to item 4, that's the approval of the proposed virtual and in-person workshop meeting for July 7th, 2025. City Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve the proposed minutes of the virtual and in-person workshop meeting held July 7th. I'm sorry. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am, July 7th.
2025.
Support.
I have a motion on the floor. Questions, concerns, dissent? We'll take that as roll call. Would you please call the roll on the item 4A?
Councilman Shafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
No.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Moving on to item 4B, the approval of the proposed minutes for the virtual and in-person regular meeting held on July 7th, 2025. City Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve the proposed minutes of the virtual and in-person regular meeting held July 7th, 2025.
Chair offers support. Questions, concerns, dissent? Take it as a roll call, would you please?
Councilman Shafi,
No.
Councilwoman Martin,
What is it we're voting on?
We're voting on the minutes from last meeting.
Oh, yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the portion of our council meeting that's set aside typically for the mayor to address the citizens. During council meeting, Mayor McDonald informed us that she would not be here tonight. And so we're going to go into citizens' participation. Right now, we have 4 items for our agenda tonight. We have the tabled item from July 7th as it relates to the resolution regarding the city collection and debt payments. Item 6 is from the Water Department. This is a resolution to issue quotes for storm drain and curb inlet cleaning. And then it's only 3 items. And the third item will be the resolution to approve the disbursement of the COPS Technology and Equipment Grant. If you have comments related to those items only and you'd like to approach the podium, please feel free to do so. This is on agenda items only. Do you mind identifying the agenda item that you're going to speak on, sir?
Item number 3,
Item number 3, which is the resolution to approve the disbursement.
that's correct.
Go right ahead. Hold on one second. Let me get your time together here. State your name, sir.
Robert Douglas Lodge Jr. Good evening, City Council, citizens, and all that's in attendance. First of all, I need to share that I am an advocate for law enforcement and that I want to express my concerns. And me expressing my concerns, Chief, if I may, does not mean I want your job. I'm expressing my concerns based on what took place several weeks ago between the chief and Councilman Kashid.
Sir,
Having
is
a
this
different-
related to?
This is related to mental health, item number 3.
Go ahead. I will extend your time.
Thank you. Pertaining to the difference of opinion. The chief had an interview with the local news channel the next day, and he expressed his concerns and the concerns of his officers, feeling that their lives were and are in danger and that their jobs are in danger. My concern is the danger of officers coming to work in this city every day, feeling or believing that everyone in this city hates them, because that is not the case. And I do not want a preconceived thought in an officer to come into this city and a minor infraction, a minor issue escalates to someone losing their life. And so I'm thankful for this council considering mental health for the department of these officers. I also want to share with Councilman Kashid that I understand you're angry and you may have every right to be. But what I'm hoping for, that we can learn as citizens, council, officers, to work together to move this city forward. And if I had not been interrupted on the 16th, I would have been able to share that with you. Now that mental health for the officers are on the agenda, I believe that we're headed for the right direction. And I pray that this allows us to help grow and be a better city and city council. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else have anything related to the agenda item?
Hi, I'd like to
Just one
speak.
second, just 1 second.
Oh, sure.
I added an extra 30 seconds.
Oh, thank you.
Go right ahead, 2:30.
Okay. So my name is Lisa Stolarski. I'm the treasurer. And I would like to speak on the resolution tonight to adopt a credit card policy. So I'm not going to reiterate the things that I said in the letter that I wrote to you guys this afternoon, which I sent you by email. If anybody did not get to read it, I asked Councilwoman Robinson if she would read it out loud for everyone to hear. But what I would like to point out was that I put this out there for you guys. This is, I was looking online for credit card acceptance policies for municipalities. And They weren't really easy to find online, but I did find something similar from Michigan Tech. And they have 6 pages of policy. They have a purpose for their policy that is to establish and define requirements for collecting, storing, processing, and transmitting credit card data to ensure proper control and integrity of data, as well as to facilitate compliance with PCI DSS requirements. These standards are designed to assist Michigan Tech in safekeeping of cardholder information, which in turn reduces the chances of security breaches, fraud, and potential financial losses. There are some other interesting points that I think if you guys rework this policy, you could put in there. For instance, they have a section where they enumerate the department responsibilities. We have 6 departments that collect credit card information. And so each of those departments should have a set of controls that they have to follow. Another aspect of their policy that I really liked was daily settlement. So sometimes we don't settle accounts in a timely fashion here in Highland Park. And having a policy where the credit cards at least have to be settled daily would very much help with compliance with other internal controls, which I'm happy to share with you guys if you're interested. I made extra copies of the various financial policies required for Michigan municipalities.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and then Mr. Larsky, you're gonna be, when we get to that, you're gonna be back at the podium because we all received your document. Now, this is the administration has decided, the city has decided on this. So when the time comes, I'm gonna ask you back to that podium so we can discuss this more thoroughly. Not seeing anyone standing here, I'm assuming that all agenda items that wanted to be referenced have been referenced. And so we're gonna move on to item 5. I'm sorry, forgive me for that. So as usual, I'm doing 2 things. I'm running the meeting in person and I'm running the meeting online. It's the same, the $5.50 an hour that they give us. I don't see any hands raised online. None online, so we'll go back to a reduced screen and then we're gonna move right into item 5, table item from July 7th, 2025 regular meeting. That is a resolution regarding the city procedure for collecting of credit and debit card payments. City Council, what is your pleasure on item 5?
I move to bring back the table item, resolution regarding city procedures for collection of credit and debit card payments.
Chair offers support with questions. We gonna draw straws?
No, you got it, Mr.
Okay,
President.
so, Mr. Larsky, if you wouldn't mind coming to the podium. I'm sorry. What, no, we just bring it up. I'm sorry, hold on a second. We're bringing it off the table. So my question for the group is, fine, I'm sorry. See, this is why I wanted the parliamentarian. Now, because of what I know, it's because of what I don't know. So the item on, the motion is on the floor to bring this item back from the table made by Councilwoman Manica. Support is offered by the chair. Would you please call the roll on bringing the table item back?
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes, to bring back from the table.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tem Robinson. No. Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. This item is off the table. City Council, how do you want to proceed on a resolution regarding city procedures for collection and credit of credit card payments?
We have a procedure in place right now.
No.
It was submitted by the administration. So this resolution that we have in front of us was submitted to us at the last meeting. So
Can I make a comment? Mr.
please go right ahead, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. This began with last year's audit. Mr. Alan Panter from Yo and Yo presented the audit to City Council, and one of the things that he flagged as something that should be addressed by the city was the lack of the debit credit card policy. So I did confer with Mr. Panter via email to make sure that there would be a resolution put before this honorable body that if it would pass would meet Mr. Panter's specifications for having such a policy in place. So that is what is before you tonight.
City Council, what is your pleasure on the resolution regarding the city credit card policy?
I move to approve the resolution regarding city procedures for collection of credit and debit card payments with questions.
Chair offers support with questions. Okay, so the item is on the floor now. Mr. Larky, would you please join us at the podium?
Okay.
Ms. Manica, I'll wait until after you're finished.
Nope, I just kind of opened it up, the floor. I don't have mine right now. I open up
Okay.
the floor for the council.
So having taken a look at your document,
Mhm.
I want to just, cut the fat and get straight to the meat. You're saying that you need to have access to a credit card? Is that what you're asking for?
No,
So explain it in layman's terms.
okay, so I'm not sure if you
No, just explain it in layman's.
read it
terms.
very thoroughly.
It's
if you
a
thought that.
lengthy document.
It's one side on each side of a page.
Can
It's
we
not
just
that
go ahead
long.
with the please? guys?
So what my document says is that there has been a concentration of power, financial power within the administration that started during the Yap administration when they revised the charter. And I gave some examples of, things that are unusual about our charter and the powers of the finance director. I then went on to explain that in addition to that, the finance director actually is the boss, he tells me. No, Charles Lackey tells me that his boss in regard to the administration of my credentials in the BSNA system rests with the finance director. They do not rest with him or with me, the elected treasurer. So I find that these things are problematic and they are in violation of.
So,
the
Mr.
checks
Larsky,
and
you didn't
balance.
answer my question. So,
Yes, I did.
so
You
hold on.
asked me to explain what my letter is about, and that is
Okay,
what
so
my
ma'am,
letter is
so
about.
pause, everybody take a deep breath because we're gonna, I see you, Ms. Manica. So we're gonna run afoul of the conversation here. The administration that is the city of Highland Park, the treasurer is our banker. The
Mhm.
treasurer is our banker. Okay. If I decide I want to use Cash App or Zelle, my banker can't tell me, well, I think you have more success with PayPal. That's how we're running a file here. The administration,
No.
the team of people. Okay, and thank you very much. Ms. Manica, your
Did
question,
you-
go ahead.
Did you read the law, sir?
So I
Just-
have
no,
a
no, go ahead,
question.
Go ahead.
It's actually not for you, Ms. Delarsky.
Okay.
My question though is, we're talking about the item that is on the floor is a policy.
Mhm.
We're talking about creating a policy for credit card and debit card.
Mhm.
That was my point of information. Am I correct?
Yes.
Am I correct? I'm talking to city council. Am I
Yes,
correct? Is
you
that
are
what our
correct.
resolution is
You are
for?
correct.
Okay, so you asked the treasurer to come up and give information on what we are currently doing with credit card and debit card? I don't know.
I wanted to find out where there was a deviation between what is permissible and what is suggested. The administration has put together, I see your hand, the administration has put together a resolution related to a recommendation, a very thorough, we did a whole workshop on this. They made recommendations to us. They say you need to be able to receive payments via credit card and debit card. That is the administration. That is the business. We are a municipal nonprofit. Our banker now is telling us that we need to adhere to recommendations for the banker and not for the business. And that's as clear as I can see it.
So this is now for the lawyers. Mr. Bosnick, you guys reviewed, are you telling me that you reviewed the policy that has been presented to us?
I helped write it with guidance from Alan Pancher, who was the auditor that made the recommendation that we have, that the city of Highland Park should have such a policy on the books.
So if this policy is, say, approved, is there opportunity to amend it later if
Absolutely.
something is seen? Because I did notice there was a statement earlier about departments, but I think if I'm correct, only people that take credit card payments is the treasurer for each department, with the exception of water. Like you go to the water department for water, but when I come in here to the clerk, she gives me a slip, I go to the treasurer.
Councilperson Manica, council can always amend the policy in any way it sees fit. But right now, there's not a policy on the books, and it's been several decades, and it was noted as a deficiency in the city audit. So council asked me to come up with something. So I worked with Mr. Panter, and that's the document that's before you. I believe the treasurer in her email questioned whether it should be just the treasurer or the treasurer and the financial director. Upon reviewing the charter, the finance director does have significant responsibilities, including some supervisory responsibilities. So that's why it was drafted such that the treasurer and the finance director would jointly decide what instruments would be used. But it's up to this honorable body.
Okay, but we actually really just need to establish a policy.
Yep.
And then later we can amend it. Is that correct? Thank you.
Mr. El Shafi, go ahead.
Mr. Bostic, I don't mean to be rude, but the charter says more than that. The charter actually in section 3 gives sole discretion to the treasurer as to which systems will be used in the city. What was that you quoted us?
And
Please.
That's not the charter.
Okay,
That was MCL.
so I quoted the law, and it says that it's the duty of the treasurer to decide about which kind of credit card acceptance we will use.
That's state law.
That is state law. That's
Okay,
right.
so clear. See, I want y'all to understand this, and I'm not being a jerk here. State law trumps anything that we're doing here, okay?
the state law that was cited in that email
Okay.
was the wrong site.
Okay, so.
But the charter does give the finance director
Okay.
responsibility. And it's up to this body.
I'm simply saying this. I'm tired of going back and forth in this particular department. It's going on long enough. When are we going to quit this today? It's going on long enough. How long is this going to go? Every week is something new between the council and the treasurer and the mayor. Woo-de-wah. I see more lawsuits coming. We're already in one to start with.
It's not going anywhere with me because I'm just trying to help
Okay.
council cure a deficiency that was found in the
Okay,
audit.
I would like for this to come to an end. This back and forth. All right, it's bad enough that we back and forth. Okay, I don't need another department to go back and forth with. I like going back and
I
forth.
got
with
Ms.
this
Martin and I got
department
you, Ms. Manica, and I'm
Yes,
coming in
I
there.
got some questions. Okay, so my first question is, this doesn't talk about, you said the treasurer chooses what?
The treasurer is supposed to choose for all receipts, actually, the manner of receipts, including the manner of electronic receipts that we do. In other words, if you read the charter, there's not a super lot of stuff that's written compared to the finance director, but what is written is very powerful. The treasurer is responsible for all receipts. And so,
Go ahead.
in other words, all the money, I'm supposed to keep track of all the money coming into the city.
Right, but this only talks about the procedure. It doesn't even talk about
Right.
not keeping track, it's just the procedure for collecting it. It doesn't even talk about the system. It doesn't talk about anything but just confirming payments. That's a procedure.
Mhm.
Verify the name on the credit card or debit card. That's the procedure.
Right.
Change is not allowed for credit card or debit card payments. It's just talking about the approved procedure by city council. That's all this is talking about.
Right. It's talking about an approved procedure, but what on the other side of the page, the resolution talks about having a joint decision with the finance director about the method of credit card acceptance.
I don't even see where it talks about the method of.
Okay.
So,
I would just like to also point out that for 5 audits in a row,
no,
No.
I'm sorry, point of order.
I still have a
No,
question.
No, you
I
won't.
prefer, we need to stay on this.
So are you
motion
saying,
or
okay,
this
so let
procedure.
me,
We can talk about anything
because I
else
want to
later.
understand what it is that you're saying. So
Okay.
are you really saying that the finance director and the treasurer shouldn't have the joint responsibility? Is that what you're really saying?
I'm saying that if the finance director is involved in it, that it will cut the treasurer out of having a say in what kind of a credit card system we use.
Okay.
But okay, hold on.
And that has been par for the course for the entire time I've been here.
Okay, my last point is, so I'm gonna have to kind of agree with the president. This is a lot to read, a couple of hours before our meeting starts. It's a lot to cover because it doesn't give me enough time to ask you all the questions that I need to ask. And
I said that.
say what?
He didn't say that. I said that.
Keep going, Ms. Martin.
Please
Ms. Martin,
continue.
please keep going.
That's all right. Go ahead.
Just.
Well,
stay with
let's
your
do a
motion. Stay with
workshop
your
on it
thought.
then.
Because
Come on.
I'm.
But I mean, okay, so you're talking about a workshop. This is my
Mhm.
first question.
No.
You know, even if we did a workshop, my question is, 2 weeks ago, we just had in a meeting 2 weeks ago.
Mhm.
You came in and said, can we table this so I can prepare something
Mhm.
for 2 weeks?
Yes,
And then we're just getting it a couple of hours before the meeting starts.
I do apologize for that, but I have responsibilities on the weekends and I also have a pretty busy job.
I got that.
Yeah.
I do too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That is the thing called life. We all have that.
Mhm.
My last question is this. I'm sorry, I got two questions. First question is, right now, isn't Hamtramck collecting our debit and credit cards that
Yes.
we're paying for our taxes?
That's right.
Okay.
They are collecting.
Okay.
But Hamtramck, because they're collecting our city's money, they should be involved in the conversation about how they're going to collect our city's credit cards.
Which is weird. Next question
Yep.
is, last question. So, you know, I had a citizen reach out to me that they wanted to pay by debit or credit card.
Mhm.
So my question is, for the citizens that want to pay by debit or credit card, you're saying, hey, let's wait even longer for another 2 weeks, which would be a month, to keep anybody from paying by debit or credit card.
No, Tony has been accepting debit and credit cards for this entire time. I can't accept payments at the window, especially not credit card payments, because I can't get into the system, you see. But they
I see
have
you, Ms.
been,
Manica. You're next.
all of these years, they've been accepted. So it's a matter of writing a policy. If we're going to write a policy, then we should write one that's thoughtful and actually, is more than a list of do this, do that, but actually talks about what is the purpose, of doing a credit card policy. And that purpose is to make sure that we are having what's called an internal control environment with other people's sensitive data.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause you right there. Miss Martin, do you have any more? Miss Manica's been waving her hand.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay.
gonna suggest, and it sounds like we need an internal control ordinance. That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to Manica.
Okay, Miss Manica, because I can't wait till you get finished. Go ahead.
The only thing that we are supposed to be doing right now
Correct.
is voting on a policy
Procedure.
for procedure. That's it.
Right.
We need a policy. The audit person told us this. So we can amend later if there's something else that needs to be amended. But I appreciate if we would just vote on having a policy. I know the president had something to say, so I won't call for the vote, but I think we're done with conversation.
Well, I have one question.
Ma'am, no,
We're only talking about a policy
correct.
for procedure.
5 years in a row,
No,
Ma'am,
hold on.
don't-
5 years in a
hold on.
row, the
Ma'am.
auditor
Don't.
has pointed
Don't.
this out.
Mr.
and
Solarsky,
now-
Go ahead and have a seat. Thank you so much.
And now is the
Mr.
time
Solarsky, go
that
ahead
you
and have a
guys
seat.
want to do
Thank you
this.
so
What
much.
part of?
Thank you so much, ma'am. Go ahead and have a seat. Hold on a second. Go ahead and have a seat, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, so.
So I'm not going to entertain that, but
so
we
I
need to
know,
just vote.
As soon as so Miss Manica, okay.
I'm calling
just
for
give
the
me-
vote.
So I had a statement that I wanted to make, and we also have a member that is has a question. I'm gonna make my statement and I'm gonna be very quick because all I want to do is make a statement. Here we are referencing documents and the charter. Here we are having this conversation with the treasurer about city administration activity, city administration responsibilities. Let us briefly reflect on the charter. What does the charter say about this conversation that we're having? The charter says that council may require an office or employee to give a bond to be approved by the city attorney in such a sum as council determines. We made that recommendation over a year ago. Also in the charter, section 4-10, vacancies in office. Number 9, it says failure to take the oath or file the bond required for the office as required by law, this city charter or city ordinance. Here I am having a debate with someone who has not provided a surety bond in almost a year about
So-
procedure.
I don't mean to interrupt. I don't mean to interrupt you, President, but can we just go back to the policy? We can cover that later, but can we just go back to the policy?
Miss,
Ms. Robinson has.
We
Yeah,
just really need to
I
cover that later.
apologize, but I have a,
I
can
know,
only
but
take
you
so
don't
much.
bite into that
Madam,
right
Madam
now.
Pro Tem, if you,
Mr. Bosley,
yes, go right ahead,
when you
ma'am.
sat down with, whoever you sat down to do this resolution for this credit card policy, why wasn't the treasurer included in it?
Well, first off, the treasurer's filed a lawsuit against the city, so I try to keep my communications with her to a minimum. I would probably have to confer with her attorney. It was I believe might have been a phone conversation or two, but there was a couple emails between, my primary communication was with Alan Panter, the auditor from Yo and Yo, who was before this honorable body and recommended that the council adopt such a policy.
Mr. Bosch, did you say that Mr. Larsky has filed a lawsuit against the city?
Yes, quite a while ago.
That's public knowledge. Can you let us know what the lawsuit refers to?
I'd rather not discuss it.
Okay, but there's a lawsuit against the city. Madam Clerk, would you please call for the roll? This is on the resolution regarding the city procedures for the collection of credit card payments. A motion was made by Councilwoman Manica to approve. The chair offers support. Would you please call the roll on item 5?
Councilman Ashafi,
Let the record show, Attorney General, Ms. Nessel, I did not violate state law. I'm going to vote no.
Councilwoman Martin,
Per the recommendation by the auditor, I'm voting yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes,
Council Pro Tem Robinson,
No.
Council President Thomas.
Heard a recommendation made by the auditor. I'm voting yes. This motion carries. Thank you very much. Moving on to item 6 under the Water Department resolution to issue an RFP for storm drain and curb inlet cleaning. City Council, what's your pleasure?
I move to approve the resolution to issue a RFP for storm drain and curb inlet cleaning.
Second with questions,
I have a motion on the floor for Councilwoman Manica for the approval of the resolution to issue a RFP for storm drain and curb inlet supported by Pro Tem Robinson. Ms. Robinson, go right ahead with your questions.
Isn't this the second time you said us? No, I'm sorry, go ahead, Shane. I'm sorry.
Good evening.
when was the last time we actually had those?
Well, I'm gonna have to say I don't know the exact date, but Willie Faison was the DPW director. And there was a program to clean all of the catch basins, but I don't want to tell you, I don't want to
I
misspeak.
remember saying a lot.
Yeah, yeah.
About 3 years,
19?
about 3 years, no, 4 years ago.
Because it came, the job system open, not happy. But yeah, so it's about 2019 was the last time.
How much was this whole thing?
This is just requesting that we get proposals from contractors. So I don't know. Back in 19, they did the whole city. I want to say it was maybe around $300,000. Not 100% sure, but that seems to be what I think it was.
Additional questions? Madam Clerk, call the roll, please, on item 6, the resolution to issue a RFP for storm drain and curb inlet cleaning.
Councilman Ashafi,
Yes, for the RFP.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tim Robinson,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries. Now we're to item 7. That is the COPS grant, and the citizens in the audience and in the chamber and at home have not been privy to this. We had this as a walk-on. I'm going to read this resolution and then I'll ask members how they want to proceed on it. This is the resolution to approve and disperse the fiscal year 2023 COPS Technology and Equipment Program Invitational Solicitation Grant, whereas the City of Highland Park Police Department submitted a scope modification for the COPS funded mental health grant awarded 15 JCOPS 23 GG 01825 TECP to be better suited for the needs of the Highland Park community pertaining to the mental health support awareness. Whereas the City of Highland Park Police Department submitted a budget for the scopes funded mental health grant awarded. We're going to refer to that as the grant, so I don't have to read that code, to be supported of the scope modification, both approved by the Community Oriented Policing Services COPS office. Whereas the City of Highland Park Police Department has begun to provide training for both members of the Highland Park citizens to be able to support the programs and projected outcomes that have been shaped by both the Highland Park Police Department and the Detroit Way Integrated Health Network to be funded by this award. Whereas the City of Highland Park Police Department looks to use awards funding to have in-house licensed mental health clinicians and provide regularly scheduled programs for those with mental health challenges, as well as those affected by individuals with mental health challenges. Whereas the City of Highland Park Police Department looks to use award funding to purchase equipment for programming, as well as tools needed to attend to the needs of the mental health community while minimizing city liability danger to citizens and increasing the safety of those involved. Whereas the City of Highland Park looks to use funding to attend events and conferences that allow our department to stay abreast of trends and other variables that would directly affect the City of Highland Park and crisis prevention program. Now, therefore, be it resolved, the city approves the acceptance of the fiscal year 2023 COPS Technology Equipment Grant Invitational Solicitation Grant totaling $500,000, as well as the disbursement of funding according to the established and the COPS office approved budget for said grant. That is the total resolution. Having had that read into the public sphere, City Council, what is your pleasure on item 7, the approval of the COPS Technology Grant?
I move to approve the resolution to approve and disperse the FY 2023 COPS Technology and Equipment Program Invitational Solicitation Grant.
Chair offer support.
I got questions.
Go right ahead.
So
Can we ask that the chief and any authorized person come
this is a
speak on
big
this?
change. This is a big change. I've been reading over this while I've been sitting here. This is a big change. What happened to the police officers, the mental health police officers that we were supposed to get? This just from what I'm reading here, that section has been taken all the way out.
I'm not certain what you're referencing, the mental
Okay,
health
so
police officers.
when we originally approved this grant, it was to also get police officers trained in mental health.
So we've been moving forward with that for quite a while. You can see in our post, every couple months, we post new officers who have been trained. They participated in the DWIN program and became certified in mental health. We're doing that without the grant. The grant had nothing to do with training the police officers.
So that wasn't involved in this grant then, huh?
Correct.
Okay. So I'm looking over your budget list here. And I tell you the same thing that I tell everybody else. When I see other costs at $88,290, I'm sorry, at $89. Yeah, what does other mean?
I'll let, so just to give you some insight, Officer Monroe, we had sent him to training for grant writing.
It's close to $100 grand of other.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go
I'm
ahead.
curious about the other.
Good evening, Council.
Good evening, sir.
So when you look at other there, it also, if you keep flipping it, line items, each thing that falls under other. Those categories are set in place by the Department of Justice we cannot manipulate them. Certain things fall under certain categories. There is a series of things that we requested that fall under the other category, which are further articulated in that line item.
So the Department of Justice, they set this pricing? Trips,
So
Travel.
they don't set the pricing, they set the category.
okay. So then who set the pricing in other?
I'm not sure what you,
Okay, so you said that it can't be manipulated. You said that the Department of Justice,
the category.
the category, okay, so they put the category other in there. Whose idea was it to put close to $100,000 and not explain what it is?
So
It's got to be explained,
look, let me look.
because it just says other here. Yeah, it just says other on that page. Yeah, and I didn't see it again.
Chief, when you send officers to training, they gotta go to Indiana for training. Is that under the category of other?
No, so the training that we send the officers to is actually local. It happens at different venues throughout the metro area, but it's the same organization. This training that
I got you, Ms. Bennett.
some specific officers are being sent to, we don't pick the venue. It was picked by the institution. And so we don't set the pricing, we don't set the location. We only determine what officers are going.
Okay. Ms.
And
Bennett.
that's based on performance.
Okay, I'm done, Ms. Bennett. It's all you.
Okay, a couple of things. One, we've been talking about mental health and helping the police department with several different resolutions and opportunities. I know some of the other city council, along with myself, have been to some of the trainings and watched. And so it has been going on. I think I know what Mr. Shafi is referring to, and that was the additional support of social workers to come along. I think that's the part that he's referring to. But if we could have Officer Monroe maybe just not necessarily explain and go through the entire grant, but point out the parts that you changed or that you added to make sure that we received as much funding as possible. Is that correct? That we
Yeah, so
received a lot of
before he
funding?
responds to that, I also, I want to make it very clear that this is to include counselors and social workers that will be on staff with us. That part's not, we're not deviating from that.
So Mr. Shafi's asking that you show him where it's at. That's what he's talking about. He said officers, but he's referring to the social work piece.
Yeah, because it was my understanding that was supposed to be included in this grant.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? In case we have a mental health crisis, which we do sometimes in this city have, you know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with the police department having what they, need to have to do their job. I'm fine with that. But
Yeah, so I apologize. When you said officers, that confused me, but the intention is still to have, to bring on staff for crisis counselors. So we purchase equipment for them. We're purchasing computers, a vehicle for them that's outfitted with equipment that can be used for responding to people in mental health crisis. We also are in the process of looking to purchase less lethal items. So our go-to tool isn't always a pistol or something deadly force. We're looking at other things that several agencies around us have been successful with, including the city of Detroit, with utilizing less lethal weapons to subdue people so we can get them the treatment they need.
I just wanted to say for the record that we did approve it, and I also took the training, and it was great training. And we're here to amend this today because we did approve it because of some mistakes that were made by Burgess or whoever.
Yeah, so let me provide clarity. Mistake is not the word I'd like to use.
Okay.
So Mr. Burgess, I want to first commend him because he got us this money, okay, that we wouldn't have got otherwise. He modeled it off a model that really doesn't work for our department. And ultimately, in Mr. Burgess' defense, he's great at what he does with acquisitions and getting grants, and he succeeded. However, he's not very well trained in the mental health part of this. And so since we've been involved and we've been sending officers, Officer Monroe, several other officers to this training, we've learned a lot about mental health and other models that work better and that produce better results. So I don't want to say Mr. Burgess did anything wrong, because he absolutely didn't, because without him, we wouldn't even be talking about this money. Okay. What happened was we've changed the model to where it benefits the department better, and we don't assume as much liability. Under the previous process, those counselors would have became City of Highland Park employees, and we're not in a position to do that, especially when the money runs out. What do we do with these employees? So there's a lot of variables. Also, we would not have been able to spend the dollar amount in the allotted time frame, which could have potentially been a problem for us in applying for future grants. So again, I don't want to say he did anything wrong, and I'll let Officer Monroe expound on that a little better, because he's been involved with negotiations with the federal agencies. So.
Good evening again. So when the grant was originally awarded, it was to the tune of $496,000. And again, that was strictly for non-sworn personnel. The issue with that is we would have to hire a certain caliber of employee to fulfill those awards. We don't have the ability to supervise a master of social work employee or a clinician, because we don't have, that's not our level of expertise. So we sought out to make them a contract worker through Detroit Wayne Integrated Health. They know what to look for. They know the questions to ask when interviewing. They know what should be done, how procedures should be followed. That's what they do. So it was a better suit for us to redirect those funds to them. The other challenge that you face is certain amounts of money under this grant. You can't just redirect it all, because they say, even though their contract, DWIN is a consultant. Well, a certain amount of funds to a grant can, there's a lot of constraints that go along with that. There's also things that we say, hey, how can we assist those who are in crisis or SUD, which is substance use disorder, or those who are unsheltered? Could we use vouchers for food or vouchers for transportation? They said, no, it's not covered under this particular grant. There are grants coming that would allow us to do that, but not this particular grant. So the back and forth was, here's our budget, here's our scope. No. How about this? Maybe not. So what we did was we looked, and we, under the Detroit Wayne Integrated Health, as it pertains to this crisis intervention team, we follow the Memphis model. It started in 1987 in Memphis, Tennessee. So we're basing what we have off of that model. And then we shaped it so that it fits a department our size. It would be really hard to spend $500,000 over a course of 2 years with maybe 2 social workers. That's a lot of money that you would be putting in the pot. Also, with the current climate, we want to get the money, allocated and spent so that we don't lose it. So there was a series of back and forth, a series of conversations, a series of explaining, because sometimes they didn't really understand what it was that we were looking to do. So we would spend hours on the phone, because sometimes in emails, things get lost in translation. So we spent hours on the phone tailoring this and finding a resolve that satisfied them as to what this grant was earmarked for and how we could actually use it. Because you never want to accept funds and then not use them and then they go back. That's kind of like gives you a bad credit score, for lack of better expressions. So we did a series of things. Right now, when it comes to dealing with persons in crisis, what is coded as mental violent, you go from taser, firearm, that's it. Now with this grant, we will be able to deploy BOLA wraps, which is a deployment device that literally wraps around that subject to keep them from harming themselves or others. Pepper ball deployment, which is, a pepper ball agent that keeps the officer safe, it keeps the social worker safe. Just as if you have an issue The paramedics are not coming until you've secured the scene. So this is what it allows us to do. Also allows us to further training for the community, because a lot of times we find that the household members are the ones who exacerbate the situation because they don't really know what to do. So this gives us an opportunity to train those wraparound services, meaning those who have been in crisis and those who are now professionals can have roundtable discussions to say, hey, how can we make this better? How can we as a community wrap our arms around those who have mental health challenges? So it's a all encompassing grant, and the way that we're going is also a model for other smaller departments, because Detroit is big, Warren is big, so their model does not suit us because they've got tons of people to do things that we may not have. So one of the other things was the vehicle that we are securing just for mental health clinicians. In Detroit, the mental health clinician rides with the scout car, but they have a mental health unit. That's all they do is answer mental health runs. Our mental health officers also have to answer regular runs. So what that gives us the ability to do is put a mental health worker in transport so that if something happens, they can respond from the station to assist them. They also have the ability to do follow-ups without the police car in front, because everybody knows when police car shows at the house, everybody wants to know what's going on. Well, some people get embarrassed about that, and it would cause them not to receive the service because they don't want people to know what's going on. So this gives them the ability to just show up, follow up, have conversations without that bigger, the police were down there. So there's a series of things that we've done. We've even carved out resources for programs to do other things like mental health first aid, to do the suicide prevention, to have a room where we have the trainings and it's ADA compliant, where someone may have a hearing issue, someone may have a visual issue. We're able to have these trainings with everybody included. So that's really where the grant goes. Have I answered or covered enough?
I think you have.
I'm
So
trying
we're
to
gonna
think.
go ahead and
Because I worked at Beaumont Wayne Hospital for 10 years, and those are patients that I work
Right.
okay.
And I just wanted you to explain so everybody can hear about the new devices and the new procedures that we can allow us having without shooting
Right.
somebody that needs us.
Okay,
All right.
on that, I'm gonna go ahead and
you.
call for the roll
Thank you.
on item 7. This is the COPS grant. The motion was made by Councilwoman Manica, supported by the chair, the resolution to approve and disperse the fiscal year 2023 COPS Technology and Equipment Program Invitational Solicitation Grant. If you would call the roll on item 7, ma'am.
Councilman Shafi,
Yes.
Councilwoman Martin,
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica,
Yes.
Council Pro Tim Robinson,
Yes.
Council President Thomas.
Yes, motion carries.
Thank you, council.
Thank you. So I'm gonna start online with any attendees that we have online. I have 15 attendees online for a citizen's comment. If I could get those hands up. That first hand, okay. So I'm going to ask you to unmute. I'm gonna get this thing set, the timer set. And I'm gonna ask you to unmute, ma'am, if you would.
Can you hear me?
Can you speak up, please?
Yes, can you all hear me?
Yes, ma'am, go right ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, honorable community members. My name is Shamika Nichols. I'm a resident of Highland Park, residing on Tyler Street, as well as the executive director of Solidarity, a Highland Park-based nonprofit. I want to raise 2 points tonight. First, urge you to improve public accessibility for city council meetings. And second, seeking clarity on city council approved resolution from January 18th during the YAP administration. For the accessibility variables, please make Zoom links and dial-in numbers easier to find. If you're able to directly include them on the agenda. Also, if you could activate the Q&A or chat feature on the Zoom webinar, it will allow participants to ask questions or to write brief written public comments, which could be read aloud during citizens' participation periods. I hope to see future meetings that provide a more inclusive experience for all community members, especially for elders and citizens with disabilities, such as the hearing impaired. The second is the Highland Park Sustainability Task Force. On December 20th, 2021, City Council adopted a resolution to align with Section 7-8 of the city charter to establish a sustainability task force brought forth by the Citizens for a Sustainable Highland Park, many of whom were also members of Solidarity. My questions are, is that resolution still legally in effect? Who does the task force report to, council or the mayor? Who appoints the members, and when will it be seated? Thank you for allowing me an opportunity.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, next I have Cheryl Henry. I'm gonna ask you to unmute. Cheryl Henry.
Hello, good evening. Council. I'm
Hold on a
Cheryl.
second, Miss. You reset your time. Go right ahead.
Hello, good evening, Council. I'm Cheryl Henry, and I'm representing the Soul Harvest Ministry Christ Harvest Fellowship. And I'm here to ask you to revisit the resolution that was given of the last council meeting concerning the sign to be added unto the city. We would just greatly appreciate that if we could do that in honor of Bishop Dorsey Evans and his time of living and his flowers while he was yet alive. So I would ask if you can revisit that resolution, and all please be in agreement that this would take place for us.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Could you go ahead and mute again? All right. That is all the people that we have online, people within the chamber. I'm going to set aside 2 minutes for you to come and express yourself.
Robert Douglas Lodge Jr., president of the East Grand Brush Cul-de-Sacs Block Club. I want to piggyback on my statement earlier pertaining to the mental health piece that was just presented to this council. I am, just for the record, I am a chaplain, certified chaplain for law enforcement. And as I stated earlier, I'm an advocate for law enforcement. The fact is, Chief Mahon, correct? Am I saying that correctly? McMahon, thank you. The fact is, you set the standard for your department and you established the culture for the department. My concern is coming in the very next few weeks, on August the 8th and 9th, there will be a major event in this city on the street called Avalon. From what I've heard, they're expecting 10,000 people to attend this particular event. 10,000 people is probably the number of citizens throughout the entire city.
It's less than that.
So my concern is the stress, the pressure that it's going to put on the city, the citizens, and especially the officers. It only takes one incident, because these individuals that's coming, from what I have been told and what has been advertised, they're not citizens of this city. And with that being said, if one group from one side of town happens to run into another group from another side of town, there could be a major issue that this department, this city, these officers will not be able to handle. So I'm sharing this as a warning that we need to be mindful of what we allow to take place in our city. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
How y'all doing today?
Good.
My name is Dwayne Matthews. This is just some to talk about some hardship and ownership. I've been inside this city for about 20 years now. I reside on Easton Street, 343. And in the last few years, the house that I resided in caught a fire due to one of the tenants. It was a 4-family unit, and it caught a fire. And the upstairs portion of the house caught a fire, and I resided in the lower portion. My portion didn't catch on fire. So at the time, they allowed the Red Cross came in and gave us some money so we can go somewhere else, and until they could do something with the house, but the owners never did. And in that time, the money ran out, and CPS came to my house, and they were like, "You can't be staying here. You can't have kids here." And I'm like, "This is all I have." So CPS came, took my kids, and that was very traumatic for me. So I did the next thing that I could do is I was told to find suitable housing before I could get my kids back. I'm currently with my youngest daughter. She's laying down right there now. She fell asleep. I apologize for that. If that's so I went to the next thing is to try to buy some property still in Highland Park because I still want to stay in Highland Park. So I did that. And I got a house on Geneva about 2 or 3 blocks away. And I bought the house who I thought was, a good source or what have you. Went down to the city in Detroit because that's what I was told. But this is my first time doing this. I was told to go down to Monroe and get everything together with my deed and everything. And I did that. And then I started fixing on the house. I fixed it up to where it's suitable for me and my child to live there. And I had to do that in order to get my child back. So they came, looked at the house after I didn't put a lot of money into it. And, they said it's redeemable and you can have your child back. So they gave me my child back earlier this year. So thank you. So we've been in the house, and just recently I came down to the city of Highland Park, and I was told that Highland Park still owns the house and they were scheduling it to be demolished.
Okay, so I'm gonna pause you right there.
209 Geneva.
So have you, and this is citizens' comment. I'm not supposed to ask you anything, but I do have one question. Have you talked to anybody in the city administration? Have you been to this building and talked to?
Yes, I was just here like earlier this week.
And that's all I could ask you right now. I just want to get that out. And I do thank you for sharing. Anybody here you want to follow up with? We don't make those decisions. So this is the city administration. That also sounds like some county stuff. That's a lot going on there, brother. And that's a heavy lift.
And I just want to keep the house.
It sounds as if that's something that you might want to take up. If you went down to Monroe Street, that's a pretty tight ship down there. Not a lot of things slip through the cracks. So I don't know, because I don't know your case. I'll just say, please come back and talk to someone at the city administration. If it is in fact a Highland Park owned property, then somebody in the real estate office can help you understand. If you have your documents, you're good. If you have all the appropriate documents, you're good to start the conversation. So I thank you very much. I'm wishing you the best of luck on that one. Yeah, have your documents.
Okay. I did that. They said ain't nothing I could do, and lawyers.
So we're well over our time. So, and I appreciate you sharing. Thank you.
Janelle Land, a community developer in the state of Michigan. What I would want to discuss is partly about what he had to say as well, but it was in reference to the commercial buildings and the multifamily units. How long are they allowed? How long will you allow someone to have a blighted commercial property or multifamily unit before the city either takes over or demand that they come compliant with blight? And what do you plan to do with the property, or you're just going to let them depreciate once you take the property, or do you demand them to? What do you plan on doing with blighted properties that are commercial properties or multifamily homes? Do you plan on putting a tax on it, or do you plan on violation code penalties? Do you understand what I'm asking you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I'm asking, what do you plan on doing?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Additional comments? How are you, sir?
I'm blessed. Thank you so much, council and the residents, for your time. My name is Donovan McKinney, state representative currently in the 11th House District. That is everything just north of here of Highland Park, 6 Mile going north, Woodward, all the way down to Kelly.
I serve with your amazing state rep, Tanya Myers Phillips. I'm not sure if you know about her, but amazing. One of the things that we're focusing on now, for those folks who don't know, I am the only Detroiter and person in this region on the House Appropriations Committee, last term and this term, and that is your money committee. We brought home a lot of money last term for Wayne County, for Highland Park included, a lot of the water infrastructure grants, Parks and Rec, getting our schools rebuilt in the areas, something we continuously fighting for. But right now, with all the cusses going on in DC and what's going on in Lansing, is we do not have a budget. July 1st was our budget deadline. I literally have to go into emergency meetings with the governor tomorrow. Wanted to provide you guys with a legislative update. Our school budget right now, it's held up for grabs because these Republicans are playing games. They want to shut down this government.
I gotta stop you right there.
Yes.
We cannot do partisan politics.
Okay, got you. Just wanted to provide a legislative update and try to give you guys what I know, as much as I know. We're going to protect, one of the things that we're going to be working on, and anybody can really reach out to me after the meeting, is protecting people's Medicaid and SNAP benefits. Those are our top two priorities right now in this budget. And I know I can't talk partisan politics here, but just know you got some good electeds in this area, myself as well as Tanya Myers Phillips. If you guys need anything, please reach out to our office. I'll give you guys our office number. If you're ready for it, it's 517-373-2276. Again, 517-373-2276. If you need anything, please reach out. Yep, 2276. Yep. If you need anything, please reach out. See me after the meeting. For those folks who are here, for those folks online, just reach out if you need anything. There's going to be some tough times coming up, but we're going to overcome and get through. Thank you so much. God bless.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening to all of you. My name is Charlene Hackney Goolsby. I am a longtime Highland Parker. My family moved here in 1960. I matriculated through the Highland Park school system, went away to college, came back home, lived in Detroit for quite some time, lived in Kansas for a minute, now I'm back. I just recently bought a property on Ford Street in Highland Park, where I'm looking to do some amazing work over there, just in terms of getting the community engaged and really keeping their property up and just really creating a quiet, peaceful, serene environment. So we've renovated our property. It's 55 Ford. Please come by and take a look at it. And I am before you today because I'm having a few challenges. I have established a great relationship with Wayne County and other people, but I'm having a real problem with a neighbor who is running a car repair business across the street on 3 parcels of land. It's an open air car repair business where he even has a tow truck and he's bringing cars to the property. So we know what state law is concerning that is against state law. And I would certainly hope for the support of this council and the police department and zoning and anybody in enforcement, that anybody that could assist us with really creating the quality of life that every Highland Parker deserves over on Ford Street. I'm also buying 3 other houses on Ford Street and a couple of other parcels that I want to turn into green space and gardens for people. I'm not looking to do what's being done down on Avalon. I'm looking to create a beautiful, quiet, peaceful residential space on Ford Street. I do have the support of the governor's office. I do kind of have some relationships all over the place, and the governor's office has already been down and they've walked Ford Street. I also want to let you know that because I'm coming back home. I want to let you know what I'm thinking about doing over on Ford. I want to hear what you guys have to say about what needs to happen over on Ford. And I just want to partner with you to do what I know. Highland Park, City of Trees. I've been here a long time. All right. Welcome back.
I don't see anybody else coming to the podium, so we're going to move into council affairs, starting with Mr. El Shafi. Go right ahead, sir.
Okay. First, I want to say there is a house. I tell you, that's on Tyler, right, Miss Martin?
Yes.
Okay. 252 Tyler. Decayed, falling down. Mr. Bosnick, there's a slight problem with it, okay? Nobody seems to know if the city owns it or the county owns it, okay?
252 Tyler?
Right. 1 minute it was on the demolition list to be tore down. The next minute it's off the list. And then it's back on, and then it's back off. She's been telling me that they have been promising her to tear that house down now for over a year. And every day that they give her a date, it changes.
It's owned by the city of Highland Park.
It's owned by the city.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is really dilapidated. Okay, if we can get it boarded up and we can do something to it, the homeless people are living in it. They're smoking drugs in it. They're doing all kinds of stuff in this house, and she's there by herself. She's the only one on that side, and she's scared to death. Okay, she's a little old lady. I need something to be done about that.
Thank you.
Okay. Having said that, I want to speak quickly about the McKenna Group. So we asked them very politely not to enforce the ordinance for the rental ordinance. Did we not ask that?
We did.
Okay. So tell me why I'm still getting calls. Now they're doing it, but they're trying to do it under another ordinance to keep the money flowing and to keep it going. That's kind of like circumventing this council's authority. When we tell you to stop and don't do something and you do it anyway, it's a clear spit in my face. And I do believe that my other council members feel the same way. So having said that, I'm going to make a motion to terminate effective immediately the employment of the McKenna Group from the city of Highland Park, effective immediately.
I'd like to talk to the governor. That's who sent them here.
No. We agreed to take them in, and we have the right to terminate their contract, and I make a motion to terminate their employment. Since they want to be slick about it and play games, they can get the hell out. I'm tired of them playing here. Okay, if they're not going to do right, then get the hell out this city.
McKenna has been here how long, Ms. Square, 6 months?
Long enough.
Okay.
Okay, they've been here long enough, and there's been a second on the floor.
Members of council, are you prepared to take up this motion and vote on it?
No. I have a question though, too.
Go ahead.
How does that affect our agreement, our negotiations? It doesn't.
What's the specific issue?
Right.
They are still enforcing the rental ordinance. They're still harassing people and writing tickets for a rental ordinance. We told them that there was a moratorium on it until we figure this ordinance out and rewrite it. They're still doing it after being told twice not to do it. We told them at the last council meeting, don't do it, and they're still doing it.
Ms. Square, is it possible that we could verify whether or not they wrote a ticket?
I think they should be allowed to appear and explain.
Oh, sure. Okay. So we have a motion on the floor to fire the McKenna Group. Made by Councilman Ashafi, supported by Council Pro Tim Robinson. Are y'all prepared to vote on that?
I'm prepared to vote on
it. Okay, call for the vote on Mr. Ashafi's motion to recall out his council affairs.
Councilman Ashafi?
Yes, to terminate.
Councilwoman Martin?
Yes.
Councilwoman Manica?
No.
Pro Tem Robinson?
Yes.
President Thomas?
No.
Bye, McKenna Group. We had enough. Yeah, I ain't done. Please continue.
I'm gonna keep this real brief.
Oh, it's gonna be a hot one.
I'm gonna keep this real brief. All I'm gonna say is, I want to say thank you for coming out, being out here tonight with us at City Council meeting. Welcome back. Glad you're here, changing the 4th Street. Mr. McKinney, it was great meeting you. I just had a discussion not too long ago, early this week. So it's funny that you're already here and we just met. And then congratulations on that. I can't wait for the mental health, that training to start. And that being said, I'm gonna say goodnight. Love all of you. I'm gonna turn it over to Manica.
Good evening, everyone. You know, there's some things I disagree with that said up here sometime. the way that they're said, but enough is enough. Good Lord, have mercy. Enough is enough. Either we're gonna do the job and do it effectively. And when I say that, that does not mean attacking. It does not. But before I even go there, I do want to say, I give my condolences to resident and to the Block Club. My grand, they lost a World War II veteran this past week on the 14th. He is 102. He would have been 103 this year. He lived a wonderful life. He's seen a whole lot of things some of us will never, ever see. He fought for us. And I just want to say, when I met this person, and I'm sorry if I'm a little bit emotional, but if you came to his door or he was on his porch, whether he was in his work uniform and at some point in time or at the end in his robe and boxers, he welcomed you to his house. He welcomed you to sit and have a conversation. Him and his family. But we're talking about somebody who's seen a lot. And so I just want you guys to know that we have residents like that in our city. And he will be well missed on all accords. If you didn't know him, I'm sorry. But a good heart. And again, he was a World War II veteran. And he lived to be 102. So that's first and foremost. And I'm sorry, President, that I didn't get a chance to mention that to you before. We could have did a moment of silence for him as well. The other thing is, I have my meetup or Mix It Up with Manica coming tomorrow at Cakes and Shakes from 5:30 to 6:30. Please drop in, bring your thoughts. It's not, we're not having a whole full blown out conversation, but we are having some dialogue, maybe depending on who's there and what we're talking about. I'm looking forward to, I should have some government officials there as well tomorrow. If you have some questions for them as well, from 5:30 to 6:30. If you want to come in from 5 and please enjoy some of the things at Cakes and Shakes, please by all means do so. I have been working with some business owners on that side of the street of Woodward. And so you should start seeing some new things out there to display our city. We don't have very many businesses, especially in that area, but talking with those business owners, they agree that we may be able to do some things to attract people to want to be here and join in on getting some business here. So that I have been working on as well with those business owners on Woodward. Also, thank you again, police. I've been part of the mental health piece for a good long while for several reasons. And I also work with Dean Nguyen or talk with them and collaborate a lot. They come to some of my events. So again, thank you. And thank you for allowing me to use the Justice Center to bring them as well into my resource events. I'm trying to cover everything. In regards to the McKenna piece, I think that was absolutely asinine. Because we do things emotionally, so do our residents. Our residents cause us sometime emotionally. And sometimes you might have something that happened and it sounds like it's happening right now, but it's all about coming in and talk. I think even the city manager just said, let's bring them in because they actually have done a lot of good things compared to what has been done in the past. I'm not saying they're right. I don't know, because it was never put on the table who or what. So it could have been a closed session to talk about this information, because maybe it's information that can't be put out here. But instead, we just abruptly said no. And we do that for a lot of things based on our emotions, our feelings, or what we think is going to get us somewhere. I don't know. Pick one. And I don't disrespect anybody when they talk. I don't disrespect anybody here because I think we can have a conversation. So with that being said, I think we need to be conscious, a little bit more conscious about what we're doing when we're doing it. And while we're talking about being conscious and what's the rules and following the rules, I would like to put, and at this time, have it read into the record that I am requesting the lawyers to provide a full, formal interpretation of the legal implications and consequences if the treasurer has failed to be bonded, and according as required with section 4-10 of the city charter, and whether this constitutes a default subject to removal or declaration of vacancy under section 4-1. Additionally, a formal explanation as to why the treasurer has not been bonded. Regards, myself and any other council member that would like to join in this on the record request.
I concur.
Is that a motion?
Nope, I
No.
just concur with her
No,
statement.
I just read.
I am
that-
giving my verbal
Oh, you
support to
talking him or
her
me?
procedure here.
No, what I did was I just read my request into record that I'm requesting for the lawyer to give that information.
How soon can we get that information? If I've been
It's
at-
just submitted to, it is
I've been
8:29
asking
PM,
for it, sir.
7:21. You have any more, Ms. Manica?
No, I'm gonna leave it right there
Okay,
for right now.
all right.
I'm gonna leave it right there.
All right, Madam Pro Tem?
Mr. Bosnick, when can we get that information?
We'll be
I'm
looking
only
into it.
speaking of our
but,
treasurer.
We're gonna look into it. We'll let you know.
That's just save the money.
I'm only speaking the question,
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming.
only our treasurer.
I appreciate you. Appreciate all of you coming today. And my father was also a World War II vet. He did the Sea. And for residents like that in Highland Park, we should do more for them. Because that's my first time hearing that he was alive and lives on Grand here in Highland Park. And I'm ashamed because we should have did a lot more for him. And with that being said, we need to do more for all of our seniors, especially the ones that are still living in their homes. Because I did used to be the senior coordinator. And I still keep in touch with a whole lot of them. I fix food, dinners and everything for them. So we all have to do it. And I want to appreciate and you, Tamara, for explaining and giving us some clarity, because that's all I asked for. That's all I wanted to hear, and the people want to hear too. That is not too much to ask. And I was asking for workshops for clarity. And as you know, you go online and see them, they're all canceled because it's the president's privy to call a workshop when he wants to call a workshop. So I just want that to be on the records as well. And I love you and God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am. For 31 months, I've been,
I'm going to excuse myself.
for 31 months, go ahead, walk out and show the same disrespect that you do every meeting. For 31 months, for 31 months, I've been asking in writing for something related to a workshop. There's nothing in the charter, nor has there ever been anything in the workshop for 31 months. And today is my mother's birthday. When I talked to my mother today, I said, Mom, I'll go to the meeting and I'm gonna try to keep it down. And my mother said, I'd be doggone if you sit there and allow your city to be destroyed and you be polite because it's my birthday. She basically said, if it calls for it, give them hell. So I'm going to go over a real short list. In 2023, based on a motion, the Historic Commission chairperson who had done more for this city in her lifetime than any other chair. I sat on Planning Commission and Zoning. The Historic Commission was active. They were working with SHPO. Millions of dollars were coming here. And based on an emotional response, a resident of 56 years was removed from the Historic Commission. You ain't heard a peep out of them. We begged these 3 council members not to vote the treasurer into office because it would create a situation of chaos. They ignored us. It's been over a year. I want to know who's paying these people. And I've been asking for law enforcement to find out who's paying these people to destroy our city. Tonight, we sat here after waiting for the state to provide us grant fundings to finally give us planning services. You notice I didn't say anything when this woman was talking. We asked the state to give us grant funding to provide planning services for us. We were deficient for a number of years. And members here voted to remove the planning agency that's working on the municipal codes, that's working on the ordinance list that we did tonight in the workshop, that has only been here for 6 months. This is McKenna. They are a state recognized agency with capabilities significant enough that the governor of the state would select them for the appointment. They have a team of professionals that would line this bench and have more experience, have 150 years of experience in their field. And yet people with absolutely no experience voted to remove McKenna after we received a grant. After 2 years of cajoling and begging for this support, they didn't even allow them to come here. I own multiple pieces of property. McKenna is mailing out statements. I haven't heard of anybody getting a ticket. How is it that I can go to AutoZone and I can go to Glory and I don't run into anybody telling me that they're getting a ticket? I live in one of the most densely populated subs in the whole city. People walk their dogs. They come by my house. Nobody is telling me that they're getting a ticket. No, you don't care. Isn't that something? Isn't that something? I'm not in the news every 2 weeks showing the city how much I care about them. So it's very disparaging. And so I'm saying to the mayor right now, please get your veto pen out because it's going to be put to good use. Now, let me address some of the things that were said in the room tonight. First, the world is very small. I went to high school with a young lady by the name of Sheba McKinney, and to see her nephew in the room representing is a pleasure for me. East Side go real deep. And so I really like to see us doing our thing. And that's why I appreciate having you here. Outside of the campaign thing that we have to deal with, we are 100 tonight. And I wanted to raise the attention so that we don't have peninsula or island syndrome. Right on Woodward Avenue is the Woodward Dream Cruise. Millions of people occupy the 5 or 6 cities on Woodward Avenue, and it's inconvenient for those of us who use Woodward Avenue and for the people who live there. And the Dream Cruise grows every year. Royal Oak has a lot to offer. Arts, Beats, and Eats is a great festival. 99.9% of those people that come to Arts, Beats, and Eats don't live in that community. Okay, in Highland Park, there is nothing. And if it were not for the nonprofits, like the Solidarities, like the Avalon Villages, there will be nothing here. So I don't know what is with you people that would prefer us to have nothing. Like my mama said, it's very difficult to be criticized while you're working by people with idle hands. So I would like to see something happening in this community from all these people with so much to say about what's happening due to the efforts of those who are willing to get up off their behind and do the work. And that Eventbrite is a registration of those people who may come. There's never been 10,000 people standing anywhere in the city of Highland Park. They matriculate through that area. So what I'm not going to do is allow for fabrications, misinformation, and flat out lies to be perpetrated without doing a little bit of fact checking. We asked them not to vote that person in as treasurer. We said after looking at that resume, they were not qualified and they couldn't get a bond. Now here we are a year and a half later with a lawsuit filed by Mr. Davis. Our city is in a state of jeopardy. The school board is in a state of jeopardy because you have a person with no training in finance coming into the room and dictating what we should do when we have an expert accounting agency with decades of experience advising us. And yet we're supposed to listen to somebody who won't even submit their financial information for a bond application. I wonder why. And I'm gonna close by saying this. Last week, again, I was in downtown Detroit at a high-rise building so high I could see down to the Gordie Howe Bridge in the city of Detroit at an executive meeting on behalf of the city of Highland Park. And I cringed when the people across from me on this gigantic conference table said, we don't really want to have to deal with y'all right now because your city council is a mess. Everybody in the room is tier 1, 6-figure director of the office that they work for. They run the place. And that has happened to me a half a dozen times since I've been city council president. I'm in downtown Detroit at a meeting with a power broker, and they say to me, Council President Thomas, with all due respect, y'all not ready for us. They have resources to offer, opportunities to bring, and we are perceived as a group as a chaotic mess. It goes to Mackinac. In the back room at Mackinac, they're talking about us. How much of a horrible example that we are for a municipality, one of the last small, predominantly African-American cities in Michigan. And our charter, our very future of our city comes up in discussion. All it takes is a couple meetings and a room full of attorneys, and poof, we're a new district in the city of Detroit. Y'all keep thinking I'm playing, but I'm telling you, these meetings are being had. And the city is being embarrassed by what occurs here. It is recorded live and the internet is undefeated. Oh, yes. And I want to thank my councilwoman who's always working. If you go down to John R. at Davidson, you'll see the signs that represent the engineering project that's going on here. As you travel the country, if you travel by car, like I used to every day, you see those signs and they let you know what's going on. They give you a reference for the grant. You can get online. You can find out what's going on in your area. I want to thank Ms. Manica for getting those up. I really appreciate that. It makes a difference to show all the work that they're doing.
Thank
So,
you, engineers.
yep. So
Thank
having
you.
concluded all business related to the city of Highland Park, the chair will entertain a motion to adjourn. All
Second.
those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is called at 8:40. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. All right, take care.